Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of old sheet music. I am your host, Nicholas Carroll. Tonight we are looking at The Black Hawk Waltz by Mary E. Walsh. We have an advertisement on the back like usual. We have a key here to indicate that this is one of their key pieces. It is a famous piece, and so are these other ones. They are advertising all most popular series. One's Moonlight Sonata, one is Dance of the Hours, one is Frankie and Johnny, one's Amaryllis, and the other is a collection. Ara Lee is the main one they're advertising, but it is a collection. So this piece was published in 1880. This particular sheet music I have is likely not the original. It doesn't look old enough. I've had some that actually are that old, but they're more yellowed, they're bigger sized, and this one I think is just a reprint of the original. It doesn't have a date, so I don't know for sure when this one was published. It has a price, which is $1.50. So obviously that's a good bit newer. If it would have been from 1880, it'd probably been like 30 cents. So that's the thing I'm going by there. This composer, Mary E. Walsh, there's not much you can find out about her other than the fact that she wrote this piece. This is a Century Music Publishing Company piece from New York. It is a Tin Pan Alley piece. It is a standard waltz of that time period. I have heard of it before. It's one of the more famous ones of the sheet musics I've played of that era. I have not heard it before, though I have heard of it. I've seen it referenced in other things. So it does look like it's more advanced, has a lot of large chords and moves, so we'll see how that goes. It is a moderate waltz. So that is Black Hawk Waltz. It had a lot of sforzandos, which means suddenly loud, and it was already loud, so a lot of really loud, a lot of just constant jumping octaves and lots of octave melodies. So it's something that if you were not like super familiar with the layout of the keys, you don't have the muscle memory of playing a lot of parallel octaves, it would be rather challenging. But if you're used to that, it's really not that hard to sight read. It's fairly predictable in that sense that if you know a lot of chords, you don't have to practice it as much because you can kind of predict where it's going. So it's predictable in that sense, which you can kind of tell if you just think about how it sounds. It had a lot of pretty much just standard major, didn't really have much transition or much minor chords or any really different sections to it, I guess you could say. It did have a key change. It didn't really change tonality terribly. So very innocuous, I guess you could say. So probably one of the reasons it was popular. And I do see that on the front here, there's a few other, quote, sparkling waltzes from their Sparkling Waltz series. And it does actually say Fairy Wedding on here, which is one, if not the first, it might have been the first. I think it was either the first or the second episode I made in this sheet music series was the Wedding of the Fairy. So this is the first time I've actually seen a piece referenced on one of the other pieces. I had mentioned I hadn't seen any of that yet last time, I think it was. So there we have it, a reference to a previous piece that I have already had. So, Black Hawk Waltz, Mary E. Walsh.